Hey guys, Lon from the ECOM zone, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 different Facebook ad strategies you can use to advertise your products. So if you've already set up your Shopify store with 10 to 50 products on your store and you're ready to launch your ads, this video is for you. So in the first one, we're going to set up an ABO campaign. So we're just going to head over to the top left of our ads manager and we're just going to hit create. Next, we want to hit sales, and when you're running an e-commerce store, you always want to optimize for sales. Click continue, and then there's 2 settings here. So on my new ad account, you actually don't have this screen anymore. This pop-up is gone entirely, and Facebook is basically forcing AI on manual sales campaign, and they're getting rid of the Advantage Plus shopping campaign. So we're actually going to click manual sales campaign at the bottom here, and again, if you don't have this screen, then just skip the screen because it's going to be a manual sales campaign anyways. So hit continue, and once you're on this screen, you're going to go all the way down here. So you can see here Advantage campaign budget. You could toggle this on and off. So by default with the new structure, it's on by default, and you actually can't switch this on until you create a new ad set. So with this old campaign structure, you can just toggle this off and it'll be ABO campaign. So what ABO campaign is that you're setting your budget at an ad set level. So you can see at the top left here, we got campaign, ad set, and ad. So usually you can actually toggle this on, and that'll be the budget at campaign level. So it'll be £20 at campaign level. And with this method, you're giving Facebook the power to distribute the spend amongst your ad sets. However, we don't want that with this strategy. We want to control the spend at the ad set level. And so we're going to toggle this off. So once that's toggled off, we could actually just rename this campaign. So what I like to do is call it TOF for top of the funnel, and then it'll be your product name. So let's just say we're advertising necklaces. It'll be necklace, and I'll just call that testing V1. Next, you could go down to new sales ad set. So on this sales ad set, what you want to call this is 2503, which stands for 2025 of March. So if you're watching this in June, then it'll be 2025-06. And what I like to do is put this as T4. So T4 is called top 4 countries, and we're going to advertise to US, UK, Canada, and Australia. You can add more countries in there if you want. If you want to focus on EU, then you could just target EU countries. And if you have 10 EU countries, then it'd be top 10, right? So I'll just put top 4. And then what I also like to do is write broad and then just V1 for now. So next we want to tick website. And then if some of you have settings like website and shop or website and app, you want to click away from that and you want to click website only. The reason why is you want to send all your traffic to your website, so you could collect your customers' emails, you could retarget them in the future, you can send them emails, etc. If you're sending them to the Facebook shop, you can't collect any of these. Next, you want your performance goal set to conversions, and of course I can't actually select purchases, but once you connect your pixel, you want to select the conversion event as purchases. You do not want to optimize for anything else, not add to cart, not view content, not checkout. You want to optimize for purchases. Whenever you're running an e-commerce brand or store, that is what you're optimizing for. Your cost per result goal, you leave it as nothing. This is for when you're scaling and not really when you're testing. Next, we could also toggle on dynamic creative. And to be honest, this is where it gets really confusing because Facebook is always changing their system. Like some of you may not even see dynamic creative anymore, and for me, I could see it. So we're just going to leave that off for now. I'm going to go down to budget. So we're going to set our budget to £10 a day. I'm going to set the start date to next day at 00. Some of you guys may have to put 12 and then change the PM to AM, and that will set it as 12 AM. You always want to run your ads the next day at 12 AM because sometimes if you launch your ads at like 10 PM, they get approved at 11 PM, Facebook will spend your entire budget within that 1 hour that they have left of that day, right? So you want to set it for tomorrow at 12 AM. You want to leave the end date off. If you ever want to switch off ads, you just switch it off manually. You do not want to set an end date. The reason why is because if you have a high performing ad set or ad and you have an end date set, then it will just close it, right? So you do not want that. End dates are usually for when you're running seasonal campaigns like, oh, it's a Christmas deal, Black Friday or Valentine's, and there's like shipping limitations on when you can deliver. Budget scheduling, we can leave it. And in locations here, we want to target our top 4 countries. So we're just going to type them in. So we've got our top 4 countries, and I like to test different countries out. Sometimes I may include only 2, sometimes I may include only 1, sometimes I include 10, and so forth. It's all about testing, guys. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for someone else. And same goes for all the gurus online that's talking about Facebook ads and advertising. That's why it's all about testing, and I'm giving you 3 strategies today. So we've got 4 countries in there, and then we got the advantage audience. We're going to just click this, and we're going to leave our age to 18 to 65, all genders. Even though you're selling something to women's, it's always best to just leave that gender as all genders, because you never know, you might have the boyfriend buying something for the girlfriend, vice versa. Detailed targeting, we're going to leave this as nothing because this is a broad ad set. And I know some guys and gurus always tell you like, oh, just go full broad, go full broad. But when you're running a new Shopify store and your pixel is brand new, Facebook doesn't know anything about your demographics. And this here just helps them. And that's why in this strategy, we're going to test broad vs interest. So we're just going to leave this blank. Placements, this is going to be left blank. But basically placements allows you to advertise to different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Audience Network, and Messenger. And sometimes I like to test this with this off as well. So for example, I'll switch off these 2 because I don't want my ads to go to those 2 platforms. Sometimes if I'm not running video ads, I'm not going to have that switched on to the video feeds, right? Because I'm not running video ads. However, in this case, we're just going to leave it as Advantage Plus placements. And also in recent years and months, Facebook is trying to push us towards relying on their algorithm and their AI. And not gonna lie, it doesn't work too well. Because if you think about it, we're relying solely on their AI. And if their AI messes up on that day or week, oh, it's gonna be a bad week. And if you go on the Facebook ads subreddit on Reddit, you can see a lot of people complaining, and even myself. And so what I done is actually just forced all my ads to go to manual. So now I don't even rely on their AI, because their AI is just sometimes so bad that on some days it's just really, really unprofitable. So this is the ad set level finished, and we'll just go to the ad level. So on the ad level, a lot of you guys are just leaving this ad name like really bland, and you won't even know what ads you're running. So on the ad name, you kind of want to put your ad copy in there. So it could just be like perfect gift, right? Perfect gift, and that's just that. And then what I like to do is just give it a code, 2503 pet necklace PN, and then just V1, something like that. Just a little code for myself. And let's just say you're running UGC content, you can actually put some codes in here like what color race is the person. Is a UGC content creator female or male? So if it's a female, you put F, right? And let's just say it's a white girl, so it's white F, and then it could just be 30-second clip, right? Something like that, so you could differentiate between all the different ads. So we're gonna leave that as that. I'm going to create our ad, so manually upload. And over here, there are 4 different setups. And I'd advise you to test each one, because no one really knows what will work for your niche and your products. It also depends on what you want to advertise. Are you trying to focus on one product, or are you trying to focus on 7 products? So in this video, we're just going to focus on one product. And what we can do is actually click flexible. And this is like a new ad format that they introduced last year, where you can basically select multiple images, and Facebook will basically display each image to your customers and see which one works. The downside with flexible ads is that you can't actually tell which image works. So you're kind of in the dark in that sense. So over here, we're just going to click add images. We're just going to upload all of these. Unfortunately, you can't tick all of them. You actually have to upload one by one. So I'm just going to quickly upload and speed through this video. So there we have it, guys. We have 9 images here. And with Facebook ads, the strategy doesn't really matter. It actually depends more on how many creatives you can create and give to Facebook. And that's why I actually love using Canva templates. The images that I'm using now are just ripped off from AliExpress because they look professional enough to advertise with. But I also like to change it up with Canva templates. So let's just go over the Canva templates and I'll show you how to make them. So it's actually fairly easy. Just go to templates on the left here. Just search for static ad. So as you can see here, there are a bunch of ad templates that you can use for your Facebook ads. And what you want to do is find ones where it has the product image as the majority of the photo. For example here, the photo is only taking up like 40% of that image. So I wouldn't use this template. You really want to use templates like this where it's nice and clean, looks professional, but even this is too long. We kind of want something like a square or just slightly more vertical like this. And you could just go through these templates and you could just edit different templates and create different images so that you can run more ads. When you're scaling up, especially, you need to introduce a lot more ad creatives to Facebook so that they can continue testing new creatives. So we'll just test with these 9 images here. We'll click continue. And there we have it. So we've got our 9 images here. And for the primary text, you don't really want to come up with your own primary text without doing market research. So what I like to do is use Facebook ad library to see what other people are using for primary text. So what you want to do is go on Facebook ad library, the first link here, Facebook ad library. You want to go to all ads, make sure your ad blocker is switched off, and we're gonna go let's just go for PupRing. So PupRing has 100 results active ads here, and what you want to do is go back to like his old ads, see what ads he's running. So it's like get the perfect present, don't let it slip away, claim yours now. So let's just put that there, get your perfect present, add an emoji, and then we could also add different text options. So I like to add 2 to 5 primary texts up here. So let's just go here. This is your sign to get a pet necklace. Of course, we don't have that offer. This is your sign to get a pet face necklace. Save up to 50% off plus free worldwide shipping. Another one could be gift the perfect present to your loved ones. So this is more like a gifting angle here. Of course, we want to put this offer down here as well. Put that offer here, maybe above actually. Another one, get the perfect gift for your dog lover. Or something like that, right? So you come up with 4 different primary texts or 5, and you could also use AI to come up with different primary texts for your ads. Headline, let's actually look at what headlines they're using. Available in 1, 2, 3, 4 pendants, looks exactly like a dog. Highly rated. So we'll put that there. Also, the perfect does exist. She will just put free there. Description, I like to put free worldwide shipping here, and also save up to, was it 50% off? We could also put a sale one here, sale up to 50% off. So we're just giving Facebook a lot of variety in the text, the images, so they can do their testing and let the algorithm figure out which one is the best combination. And with the website URL, you want to direct your users to your product page and nowhere else on your website, especially when you're running ads to one product. If you're running ads to, let's just say, like 7 different products, then you can send them to the collection page. So next you want to change the call to action button to shop now. And this should always be shop now. Event will leave. And of course, website events, you'll tick this when your pixel's connected, but because I don't have a pixel connected on this ad account, I can't tick that. I also like to put this code at the bottom here. So you build a URL parameter, you put it in a campaign source, and you click apply, and that's it there. So that's that with this one ad. And what I like to do is click quickly duplicate, and then I'll test different angles. So you could test different primary text angles. So maybe this one can be, I don't know, something else. Maybe it's like to do with their pet passing away, right? What you can do is ask ChatGPT to write you new ad copy that relates to that angle. Can you write me Facebook ads primary text for my pet personalized necklaces with the angle / message catered towards dog lovers? Well, use this as inspiration. Something like that. Let's see what they come up with. Wow, keep that memory close. Okay, let's just copy this. Let's see, look, keep that memory close forever. Losing a beloved dog is never easy, but you can keep them by your side forever without pass. Yes, I love this. Up to 50% off. Limited time, don't let them click load it. This is perfect. And then what you can do is just create again, come up with another one. So we'll just put 2 in here for now. And then we're also going to change the headlines. So once you change the headline, your descriptions. So now that we've created the second ad, you can actually quickly duplicate this again and change the media and leave the ad copy. So this time around, you're testing different images and leaving the text as the same. So there are many ways to test, and what I suggest you do is always have a minimum of 2 ads in each ad set so you can test between the different ads. I sometimes see people running one campaign with one ad set with one ad, and not gonna lie guys, you're just wasting money that way because you're testing against nothing. So with Facebook ads and advertising in general, you always want to keep testing. Even if you find a winner, you want to test that winner against another like test or variable. So always test and always have at least 2 ads in each ad set. And now what we want to do here is just duplicate this by 4 times. So we're going to duplicate this ad set. You can see here there's 4 copies now. We're going to leave the ads inside the same. All we're doing is changing the interest at the ad set level. So we're just going to call this interest stack V1. Go down and we're just going to click audience suggestion optional. And with your interest here, you want to pick interest that relates to your demographics. So I want to put dogs here, but I don't want to click the first one, dogs animal. Even though it has 500 million audience size, this actually includes people who don't actually have dogs, which doesn't make sense because we're trying to target people who owns dogs. And people who owns dogs are people who are likely maybe doing dog training, right? So that's one. Dog walking as well. Dog behavior. So this is interest stack 1. We're going to go to the next one. Change the interest here. We're going to search for dogs again. Let's see. Dog breeding, dog walking, dog food. Yep, dog food, dog toys. And on the right hand side here, you can show estimate audience size. So this is 48 million already. And what I usually suggest you have is around 20 million or above. And that's just a random number. You can actually go lower if you wanted, like 10 million, depending on how many countries you set. So this will be interest stack V2. This one's interest stack V3. And let's just see what else there is. Maybe, yeah, let's just do different dog breeds. So we've got 3 dogs here: Chihuahua, Pomeranian, and Yorkshire Terrier. Last one, Bulldog. Bulldog again, get the French Bulldogs. Maybe you want to type in like popular dog breeds out there. So we'll just do Bulldogs for now. And then that's interest at V4. You can actually get more specific with this, like, okay, this one's Bulldogs, for example, right? So you know this ad set here is for Bulldogs, instead of going into each ad set and seeing what the interests are. So it's just all about organization and keeping everything like nice and organized, so that when you see it on this level here, you can see what the interest is or what the ad set is. So this is actually one strategy, and that's it. That's one campaign set up. And this is the second strategy. So the second strategy is actually quite similar. All you're doing is duplicating this campaign. So we've got this campaign here, and we're going to call this V2 CBO. So this is a CBO campaign, and what you want to do is toggle this on, advantage campaign budget, and you want to just set this to £50. The lowest I would probably go is £30. Anything less than that, you're going to be waiting a long time for your ads to actually bring you any results. So £50 there, and I'm going to go to the ad set level, and then we're going to take all 5 ad sets. So what I just did there is select the top one, hold my shift button, and then click on the last one. It highlights all of them. Once it highlights all of them, you want to go down, make sure the start date is for tomorrow at 00, and then ad set spending limit is here. You want to set the daily minimum to £5. So 5 by 5, which is £25. So you're forcing Facebook to spend £5 minimum per ad set. So you're giving each ad set a chance still to like test and see if it works, right? So this is £5 for each one. £5 by 5, which is £25 out of the £50. So you got £25 left for Facebook to distribute that spend to whichever ad set they think is going to perform. So save to draft. So each one has a daily minimum now, and the daily maximum is left as blank because you don't want a maximum spend. And that there is a CBO campaign. So we've got ABO campaign, which is this one, ABO and CBO. So what's the difference between the two? Well, CBO, you're giving Facebook more control, and ABO, you get more control on the ad set level. The reason why it's beneficial to test and scale with ABOs is so that you can actually switch off ad sets without affecting the whole campaign. In a CBO campaign, if you switch off an ad set, you're basically disrupting the spend and where it spends the money between all 5 ad sets. Let's say you switch off 3 ad sets, then Facebook will need to reconfigure the ad spend into the 2 leftover ad sets, right? Whereas with the ABO campaign, if you switch off an ad set, the budget doesn't get affected amongst the ad sets because you're setting the budget at the ad set level. Gets very confusing, but you kind of understand it once you get the gist of Facebook. So that's the second ad strategy. And there's a third one where you literally have a CBO campaign. So CBO campaign. In this CBO campaign, you're only going to have 2 ad sets. So just delete these. So in this CBO campaign, you're just going to have a broad vs interest stack. And in this interest stack, you just want to stack up a lot of different interests in here. So wait, did I just, what was that? No, this size is too small, so I want to delete that. Let's do different breeds: Chihuahua, Yorkshire Terrier, Pomeranian, Pug, Poodle, French Bulldog, etc. So you just want to stack up your interest stack so it becomes like a massive beast of an ad set. And inside these ad sets, you can add as many ads as you want inside. So you could just duplicate this by 5. And so you have 7 ads in here. What you want to do is just create multiple ad creatives, add them back into here, and you just want to keep testing different ad creatives in each one. And then you, of course, you want to duplicate it over to the broad. And so this is just a beast of a campaign where you're just chucking in a lot of different ads into the ad set. And in the future, if you want to add more ads or ad creatives, you keep putting them in here. And that there is 3 different ad strategies that you can use to advertise your products on Shopify. If you guys still need help with like optimizing or scaling or testing Facebook ads, let me know in the comment section below. But I hope you guys found this video valuable. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel for more content, and peace.